Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to be doing something a little bit different this time around in terms of how I'm setting up the game. So we're going to dive into another sort of let's play here and intend to explain what I'm doing as I go through the game. And what I've done is I've downloaded a whole bunch of basically random personas from the Games Together website. So these folks don't have, I don't know anyone in this list or anything. They're just ones I found off the website. So just putting them in the game and seeing how they do. I also have Ancestor here, which is one of the default personalities, but I'll just leave one in and see how they do relative to the other AI. I'm also going to be playing on Pangea, and I have apparently lost my settings here. So normal Pangea, 70% land percentage, so one constant. I'm going to play on large, and that does change the game a decent bit compared to how you play on continents because there is a lot of land. And the changes from the beta have been pushed to live as well, which means it's more expensive to claim territories as well as to attach outposts. So it takes longer to get all the territories claimed, and there have been some changes to faith as well. So with the change to the costs, I'm interested to see how that's going to affect the game, and I think Pangea is a good place to be able to test that because of the amount of territory available. So let's get into it, and I'll see you once we're loaded in. Okay, so here we are, and we have a truly awful starting location here, right? We're surrounded by cliffs and river, so we can only use one movement point on the first turn. We have no line of sight of anything. We're in the middle of a tundra, and let's see, we're near the north, so we want to start moving south, but we can't even move south right now. Okay, so obviously we need to get out of this terrain. We'll pick up these curiosities on the way. Food is higher priority, but since these are on the way away from the tundra, we'll go ahead and grab them. Okay, and then we can use this last movement point to hop on this river here and use the river to guide us farther. Grab the food, that should be 15. So need one more food in order to grow. And this terrain is very not conducive to exploration. Okay, let's send my tribe this other direction. I'm not going to grab this because it'll take, well, let's see, I was thinking it would take 2 turns. It would actually take 1 turn off my exploration. Let's see what's up here. Yes, I'd rather get this food. There we go. Then we can go ahead and attack this deer. So, food is priority, and the reason you wouldn't, I didn't want to take that is I don't have any vision of anything, right? Like, I don't have a good spot to put an outpost down or anything like that, and that's going to take priority, and going there, because I'd be getting off the river, I'd have to get back on it, which is going to use up my movement, and is just going to eat the time I need to do more exploration. Man, these cliffs. East I've kind of broken out down here. Okay, that's food right there. We'll send this guy over because he already has some food, and we'll send this tribe up in this other direction. And we need to think about a good location. That is a lot better than I would expect given the terrain here. I would have lead and silver, so I'd have, and there's quite a bit of that around. I might be playing a bit of a tundra game here, because that's actually not a bad amount of FIMs. Who would I pick in that location? That's 17 food, 10 production, or 15 of each. I'd probably go for the 15 of each. I mean, the Egyptians aren't bad there, honestly. Harappan's good. I do want to play cultures I haven't played before. At least not, I shouldn't say that I haven't played before, that I haven't played for my YouTube channel before. Now, right in there would be great for a Confucian school, but I'd have to build over to it. What if I, like... I could put an outpost right in here and pick the Zhou. And that would let me build a Confucian school right there, right off the bat. And this territory is the one that all those mountains are in. So that might be an option, too. Okay. Split some tribe up. You'll go along the river. We'll come out that way. You get on the river. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy back. He'll drop an outpost over here, because I think that's probably going to end up being our settle. It's surprisingly good, considering the terrain it's in. Okay, I'm going to go for the reduced domestication research cost. Yeah, I think we go for that 15-15. Yeah, that's the most FIMs. But 30 FIMs at the start is a pretty darn decent settle, I have to say. Like, I don't have any complaints about that. Now, it is going to be a little awkward building from there because of the mountains. But I think given the amount of FIMs that I'll be starting with, that's okay. I'm also on a Pangea, right? So I am going to start a little farther away from other people. Speaking of which. Okay. Let's see. Can I don't see any other curiosities. I can get to that one in 2 turns, so I'm going to go for that. Because I'm not going to have this quite online. So I do want to get the legacy trait this game, particularly if I'm taking the Zhou, because they're not super competitive. The AI do not like taking them. Babylonians could be an interesting option here too. And particularly because I have like lead and silver would both benefit the Babylonians enormously, right? I'm gonna delay a turn. Just because I want that legacy trait. And I'm thinking I'm actually gonna go for the food per population for my legacy trait. I'm not gonna be able to take that mammoth still. Okay. Alright, there's my knowledge star. And I'm going to go ahead and take that food per population. And I think the reason I'm doing for that is I actually have a pretty reasonable amount of growth here. And ironically, right, the thing with food per pop is that it's better the more population you have. So like low food, you like don't get a lot of benefit out of that because you don't have a lot of population. Same for all the legacy traits. But I think in particular, the Babylonians here benefit from a fairly high population count. So, yeah, I think I am going for the Babylonians. I haven't played them for the channel yet, so let's go ahead and era up. And next turn we will get our city. Alright. First things first, Pottery Workshop. We'll also, so the changes have been pushed out with the claim costs, and I should have done this on the previous turn, but your first territory is now 61. If you claim in the Neolithic, your second claim is 20. I wish that would be standardized, to be honest. So that your first claim in the Ancient should also be 20. I don't think you should punish players for that, but it is what it is. Just need to remember it now that it's a lot more expensive. Okay. The Nubians would have been a decent pick here too, given my access to luxuries, and you know, since I have a pretty close neighbor, who are the Mycenaeans, it would have been nice to have the Tossati as a means of defense as well. Okay, so I'm going to go for carpentry first because with an aggressive neighbor, I feel like I always end up next to the Mycenaeans almost every single game. But anyway, with an aggressive neighbor, you do need to go for some early defensive measures. So let's get our usual Maker's Quarter first. That is a spicy quarter there. Let me think about this. So this does get me a lot more food in that location. Though I think it's counting... No, because that's already being exploited. So how am I getting 10 food there? I don't think that's correct. Because I'm only getting +5 food there. So why is it telling me I'm getting +10? Because I'm already exploiting this, right? And this gives me 5. So it's counting the thing I'm already exploiting. Going here actually gets me 4, not 6. That's bizarre. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and spam the scouts. I need population in here to put on industry. And let's explore over this way a bit. I want to secure some of these luxuries pretty much as soon as possible. I'm going to be playing a little bit taller. It would be nice to claim out in this direction as well to kind of block the Mycenaeans from claiming that direction. I will trade luxuries with you. If I can prevent you from going to war with me, that would be great. The Babylonians are not good at super early warfare. Obviously, the Mycenaeans are kind of the kings of that. Though the Nubians are quite competent in that respect as well. Can I buy this? No, not quite enough. Okay. Let's get some scouts together here. And having 2 of them together will prevent those like random wandering scouts from assaulting you for no reason. So that's why I'm grouping 2. That's going to be my sort of main exploration force. Okay, so they do have dye, and they have a lot of dye, which is an issue for me because dye is one of the better early game luxuries. It's not quite as good as... Shoot, I forget what it's called, but there's one that gives you +3 on main plaza and +3 on admin centers, and that one's better as long as you have 1 attached territory. But just a flat +5 on industry for every dye you control is quite good. It's like, you know, getting a slightly below average Maker's Quarter for every luxury, for every dye that you control. Ooh, that is way better over there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go for that. I'm gonna be on the low ground there. So let's see. I can go for a high ground admin center. I do lose a little bit of food. Babylon is probably going to be a larger than average city given how it connects to the territory. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4 attached would be ideal. I value this yield more than a high ground. My enemy is over this way, so it's unlikely, you know, I get approached from this direction, at least for the time being. So I'm not as worried about the defensibility as the admin center, so I decided to go for the extra FIMs. Next, I want to claim this territory to sort of secure my border. I also want to think about some early military here. I do want to get my astronomy house. I'm going to put it right here so I don't lose any of this industry yield from the river. And I'm going to keep everyone in industry until I get my astronomy house up. Need 74 influence for my next outpost. Let's see. After this, let's go for calendar. I'm going to want the artisan's quarters so I can get the lead and the silver. Both are going to be very good for me as the Babylonians. Just going to run this guy out this way. I want to kind of use him as just as scouts to keep an eye on if they're approaching me with any military, because pretty much every AI that takes the Mycenaeans wants to rush you. So you really need to be on the lookout for that. Okay, I'm gonna buy that astronomy house. Let's drop someone in there, and let's attach this territory as well. We can go for another astronomy house, and right here is the obvious spot since I'm not losing any production there. Something happened with the patch where it's not really showing you stuff correctly, right? So I'm really getting +2, and when I place it there, right, so or if I place it here, it doesn't show me that I'm losing production on sort of the top part of the tooltip. If I look at the tile, it does display it. But it used to display all that stuff properly, and now it's not. So I hope that wasn't an intentional change, because I preferred it the way it was. It made it much easier to determine where I wanted to actually put my all my stuff. Could go 2 on science. Just do 1. I'd like to get that astronomy house, the second astronomy house going. And as soon as I finish that, I'm going to get an archer for defense, because I am worried about the Mycenaeans. You know, if they rush you and you don't have at least a semblance of a defense prepared already, you are going to die. No question. How much do I need? 74. So going to be a little bit for that. I feel like I should have unlocked my first civic already, but I guess not. Okay, so let's go for bronze working. I do have copper right here, so if need be, I can claim that territory at a point in the future. My influence income is pretty abysmal. I think I found a wonder, didn't I? Was it in this territory? I don't know where it is. Or was it just like a forest? I guess it was a forest. So if I had found a wonder, wonders give you influence if you have claimed the territory they're in. So that can make a really big difference earlier in the game. Okay, let's go 2 on science. No. I did not notice that. So I guess an independent people spawned over there. And there's one coming up over here as well. Could be a freebie city for me. We'll see if it's an actually like decent location. They are peaceful, so they're not going to intercept my scouts as they roll over there. Oh, come on. Oh, too slow. That's why you move 1 tile at a time. Sometimes I get lazy and don't do that, but you really should. Whoop. Oh, I can't go down that way. It said I could before, but I guess I didn't have full vision. That's probably going to have a population before I manage to roll in there. Okay, I am worried about defensibility of this city, or of this admin center. I'm going to put it right here, because as soon as I build the stuff on the lead and the silver, it's going to be attached to my city center, which will give me a lot of walls to work with when I inevitably get attacked by the Mycenaeans. Gonna see if I can get this. You know, there's a possibility it doesn't grow, but that seems unlikely. But, you know, a free city is a free city. Gotta try. Do you have anything I can buy? No. It would be nice to find some other potential trading partners here. That is going to take quite a while to come online. Next territory we need to claim is the one with the copper up here. See if we can find the city. There it is. Okay, so it does have one pop. That's in a bad spot for me, in my opinion. But it kind of... I don't like my city centers so close together like that. Oh, wow. Okay. Keep exploring over this way. I'm just trying to get a sense of where everyone is, where useful luxuries are, all that good stuff. 9 production there would not go to waste. And then after that, let's go for the silver first, because that should affect the astronomy house, I believe. And then we can go for the lead to increase our researcher capabilities, which are already pretty good thanks to the astronomy house. Please don't grow. Yes. Alright. Kind of weird that I don't have my other civics yet. Okay. How am I losing stability? Like, I'm only at 84. Is that the base for non-capitals now? Seems kind of weird. I guess I have a little bit from luxuries, right? Yeah, so I guess 80 is the base for your non-capitals. Okay. Gonna need industry here for sure. Don't have any great spots for it, though. I'm gonna go down here, because if I attach stuff to the city, I get a little bit more industry from that spot. Okay. I'm mostly gonna leave Knock alone. It doesn't really have any critical resources or anything in it, so it's not that big of a deal that it's there. They are peaceful, at least for the time being, so they're not going to attack me or anything. I'm getting patronage of them faster than anyone else, so that's a benefit at least. Okay, so you're coming down this way. So I need to claim that territory next. And if I'm lucky, this will still be at 0 pop next turn as well, and I can just stroll right in. Okay, so I'm going to go... I could go for writing. I don't think I have enough researchers to make that worth. So I'm going to go domestication into irrigation for the flood irrigation, so I can really start growing Babylon. And I can just go ahead and walk right into a cod here. I'm not going to keep it. I am going to loot it on my next turn. Okay, so more of the resources I want over on that part of the continent. And yeah, you can just work on whatever, it doesn't actually matter. Okay, let's just roll right in there, destroy that. And you can come on to industry, so I build stuff faster. Okay, someone's hostile. Some kind of independent people. There we go. Finally got founding myths, jeez. I might go for the faith here. Let's do the minus 50% create outpost cost. I think I'm going to go for the +3 faith on territory. It has made... Changes to religion have made this much more important if you actually want a religion. And I'd really like to get the tenet that gives me +5 science on my research quarters, because I can really get some ultra buffed research quarters this game. So I want to try to compete for that particular religious tenet. So polytheism is basically always better than shamanism now. You are never going to have 5 times as many administrative centers as you have main plazas until way, way later in the game. And by that point, such a trivial amount of faith output really does not matter at all. So, whoops, I did not mean to click with a person. I did not realize that someone was selected. And that is an issue. So, get some people on industry here. And it's time to get a few units. Go ahead and pick up some hordes. Moving the scout back, and he'll be able to serve as a bit of a meat shield as well. It would also be great to get this lead, so I have a spot on the high ground where I can position units. Though at the same time, if I have... Let's see, they don't have ranged units, I believe. No, just Promicoy and Scouts. So really, if they attack me, their only entrance point into the city right now is this spot right here. They have to attack me from the high ground down into my city where I'm fortified. If I add a district here, it means they can cross down into both of these districts. So if you have districts at the bottom of the cliff and one at the top of the cliff, you can cross over the cliffs. So it may be better to keep them somewhat isolated and only able to attack that one point, particularly if I have a very limited number of defenders. It's fine. I'm tempted to buy that out, but I really shouldn't do that. I might need the money for my capital. Let's get the pottery workshop after the maker's quarter there. There's like a 100% chance that these guys declare war on me. Yeah, condescending. Okay. I think we want to go right there. So that'll give us a spot for, well, right here might be better actually. I'm thinking about where I would put an astronomy house here, and it would actually be this spot right here, I think. I'm not going to get really any farmers adjacency from it, but it would work the science on that copper. My other option is right here, and it would work this science, but then I'd lose the production there. So I'm going to plop right there. This is taking forever to come online. Okay, got army composition, which is good. Hopefully they don't declare war on me for 2 more turns, so I can get +1 combat strength on my units. And move you into production, please. Thank you. Once I have this warrior, I'm going to go ahead and disband the scout so I maintain a decent amount of population in here. And actually, I can use this scout to disband. Actually, I don't really need him anymore. There we go. And put you in science. And let's get up. Could go for standing army. I think I want to get organized warfare first, and then I'll think about standing army and see what my science output looks like. Might be able to nab another city here if they don't grab population. Assuming they don't intercept me with a random unit running around. It'd be nice to claim this again so I have a territory to attach here. And it'd be nice to get those horses as well. And there it is. Yeah, the aggressive ones are a little bit harder to just walk into because they'll come intercept your units since, you know, the AI have perfect vision. Okay. They're a little bit out of position now, though, so let's try it with the scout, see if we can get in.
Follow me.
Okay, we want army composition, +1 combat strength on units. Thank you. Okay, I'm building the artisans' quarters. I may want to think about delaying that a little bit. And if I grab this maker's quarter here, I mean, it does make my defense a little more exposed. Do I have a better spot, though? I don't think I do. Could go over here, and that builds out to mountains. I get less right away, but I think ultimately that's more beneficial. Let's see. 2, no. I'm already working that, so 2, 3, 4. I'm only getting 4 from that, not 7. 2, 3, 4, I guess 5, because it increases the tile underneath it by 1. And right here, I'm likewise not actually getting 8 industry. Or am I? Actually, right there I am, because I'm not working the industry there. Okay, we'll go there. I think I still need those artisans' quarters. It's one of my few competitive advantages in this game, I think. And now that I have an okay force defending, I'm going to go ahead and disband. Let's get another person on science. It'd also be great to get flood irrigation, because I want to keep growing the city. I have some empty researcher slots. I have very efficient researchers as the Babylonians. And
Off we
come on,
go.
in you go. Oh, they grew. That's too bad. One turn earlier and I would have had it, but it was not to be. All right. Are they still on my border? Well, I guess I don't have vision anymore. Don't have a scout hanging out there. All right, I am going to buy the lead, I think. Yeah. Well, they both give me an equal amount of science at the moment. But I think I end up with more researchers in the short term than I have science quarters in terms of astronomy house. So we'll get the lead. We'll need to, yeah, we have a lot of stuff we'll need to buy. It'd be nice to secure the Ambergris as well, but that is a fairly low priority. This little admin center will grow eventually. Buy that pottery workshop. And we need a little more food. And thankfully the astronomy house works food, so we're going to go ahead and build that. And that'll help get science output in that city up too. Okay, forced labor for sure. Plus 14 industry for minus 10 stability. Totally worth it right now. I have more than enough stability in Babylon for the time being. This is a low priority to attach. I'm mostly interested in the resources here. I prefer to attach this other outpost. I'm going to use this instead to buy out resources that I need with some influence. What's this? Leadership. Yeah, I will need that eventually. I could think about cultural blessing, this extra influence, but I would prefer to go towards the homeland axis for some extra combat strength. Now, what I should think about doing is fighting some of these independent people so that I can get my militarist Aristars. Be great to get one of these units as well. Let's queue that up. Very useful against chariots, which the independent people AI tend to get a lot of. And honestly, they're a great unit in general, if you can afford to build them. Gonna buy the Maker's Quarter. How much can we reduce flood irrigation? 3 turns no matter what. Do we bring down... Yeah, the Spearman, my Spearman guy reduces the amount of turns it needs, but I think I'd rather get to standing army very quickly. And that way I can use swordsmen. They are going to be up in era fairly soon. I'm doing fairly poorly on my Aristars at the moment, but that should change. Really wish this weren't taking forever. Production is very important on early outposts, which I find kind of unfortunate in a certain way. I'm going to go for this +1 city cap, I think. Let me think. Do I need... actually, I need the influence for this at the moment. But the reason I will need that +1 city cap, but I also want that +4 influence on emblematic district. That really increases your influence output quite a bit. Okay, end the turn again. Okay, turn 40. Slow start, but that's kind of expected, given the place I started in. Okay, I can buy this die now. I'm not worried about buying the tea. A percent modifier to food is way less useful in the early game, because you don't have a lot of food that you're actually applying that modifier to. Okay, let's get 2 turns on that guy. Alright, and just in case, why can't I, what? Cannot be done without an available spawn point. The city center? Is the city center not an available spawn point? Apparently not. Okay, I guess I'm not making any units there right now. Hopefully whatever bug is causing that will resolve itself. I'd like to get an archer in there in case the Mycenaeans go down that way. They do have a war goal there. I might refuse that demand and see if they actually declare war on me. Okay, Nubians went up with the Celts. New grievance available. Yeah, I'll demand that. Yeah, I can't afford to go to war. I was hoping they would. Oh, there is currently a bug with the game that has been introduced, and I think it has something to do with how they changed the war resolution menu, and a lot of like these demands are currently bugging out the Diplo menu, so you can't end the turn. Like, what do you want me to do? Just accept demands? Like, why do I? Is there a cause? Do I have to accept them for some reason? But because that's never happened in the game before, so I'm just gonna reload. So. Might end up having to go to war just to avoid that Diplo bug. If they have introduced a mechanic where you can be forced to accept demands, it has not been explained clearly. Okay. I have better options for that, if I want to do that. I think I want to attach this territory here. And then I have a lot more population and food and all that good stuff to play with. There we go. That will be a very nice astronomy house there too. Okay. They're sending army. Let's see if we have iron. We do. Perfect. Okay, let's get after Knock, I think. We want to start getting some militarist stars. Next turn, we can buy this iron and then upgrade the swords on our warriors. Okay. We need more food in here so we can grow. Definitely need more production. We also need a territory to attach, but that's not realistic at the moment. Little T would help with some of the stability. Don't quite need it. I will need a forge at some point. I do have horses. Let's go for the animal barns, and then we'll see what we need after that. We do need to continue to grow in that city. It's very low growth. Okay, so I got standing army. Let's go up into writing. And with luck, no one's taken it yet. Though that seems unlikely given everyone's era score at the moment. Ooh, they took the Huns. So the Mycenaeans are now the Huns. And there we go. There's the war deck. Really? Oh, these areas aren't actually fortified. I thought I had built on them, which is why I deployed there. But I have not. So that was silly of me. So I just need to survive this until I can bring these guys back as reinforcements. The AI seem to do this a lot, where they attack you as you're moving your army around. And I'm pretty sure that's just a function of the fact they have perfect vision of everything that's going on the map. How can they attack me there? Is this part of the city? Did I build my thing there? I guess it's not displaying the walls very clearly. I do have an artisan's quarter, but it doesn't seem like the walls are actually extending, which is very odd. Just gonna end my round. Then I'll bring my reinforcements in. I'm gonna lose some pop in the city, I think. I've lost 2 already now. Alright. But these swordsmen and archers should be more than enough to mop up. There you go, nice high ground attack there. That's what I was talking about earlier with some of the high ground stuff going on. Alright. Celebrating. Learning. Yes, we want more science, please. Two more units. Well, they're the Huns, so units are going to be flying at me here. Yeah. Okay. Time to start sending our army down that way, I guess. And let's go ahead and get a couple more units because we are going to need them. I'm actually going to move everyone onto production. Archers will be of vital importance. So just got to stand inside the city and let them attack me. So they have, they only have 2 melee units here, right? So, okay. Gotta move this guy out. Unfortunately, no matter how I shuffle these guys around, they'll be able to enter the city. So I think what I do is move these guys out of that district, because they'll still be on the low ground there. So they have to attack upwards. So I don't want to keep these two because they're on the high ground relative to these 2 tiles. Okay. These Dromachoi are very strong. Definitely not going to be able to get down here in time, so hopefully these levies are able to survive. I don't think they do, though. So I'm going to have to take that city back. I did get the riding competitive deed, so that's nice. Really? How did they kill that? That seems a little sus to me, since they were attacking onto high ground and like lost almost no health themselves. Okay. Let's grab this one, this extra stability. It'll give me some extra combat strength on all my units, which I'm going to need fighting the Huns. And we're going to go into Actually, no, let's go into fortifications so that we have citizens in Babylon when we need to defend it. Thankfully, almost all my investment is concentrated in Babylon at the moment. Like, the fact that I have temporarily lost control of that city is not really a big deal. I should be able to take it back with relative ease. Okay, I'm good to keep going on that astronomy house, I think. It's all production, huh? Expert policy, production, science, money. Do need to put a couple people on science, I think. And we are going to need a forge in here. Let's grab that. Need to make sure my production's keeping up. Let's see, best way to get there? Right there. What's this? Are they really attacking me? But it's horses. They know they're sieging a city, right? This is bizarre. Usually they always have at least a melee unit when they do this. Okay. I'm going to let my levies take the attacks here. And the reason for that is that the levies they'll instantly regenerate health if there's another round of combat, whereas my swordsman will not, right? So I would like to preserve the health on my swordsman if possible. And you can't get down there. There we go, bringing the guy up. Hopefully kill that scout rider. There we are. So they are going to have Hunnic hordes running around here fairly soon. Maybe. We'll see. So I need to consider as well how to build my city such that I can get a certain level of immunity from Hunnic hordes. So like right here and right here, Hunnic hordes aren't going to be able to attack these two tiles. Now what would be really nice is if I built another district down in this area. Like, assuming, because there's no other way to get down here, the battlefield would have to go, like, all the way out around that way, I think. Now, I guess you could get down with this river right here. So the battlefield would have to extend out this way, and if I built a district down here, the battlefield always encompasses the entire city when it's under siege. So it would allow me to station units down here out of the way from Hunnic hordes. Okay, get my archers up onto high ground. I prefer to not make any attack with my swordsman. I've also noticed something, which is that the... Oh, please don't bug out on me. We'll give that a second. The combat strength penalty no longer... So, normally you get a combat strength penalty in rivers, right? When you're in a district, that penalty no longer seems to apply. You can see here I'm not getting a penalty from being on river. And I don't know if I just missed that change at some point in the past, but it was not always like that. I would lose the levies there. Well, I'm going to have to take an attack with the swords, but that's okay. So if you're in a district on a river, it does not count as being on a river anymore. Which is probably good. It gives the defenders a bit of an advantage when they're defending cities. And honestly, they kind of need it, right? Because you'd never be attacking a city if you... My stability is fine, so why can't I build... Whatever. So you'll never be attacking a city if you think you can't take the city, right? So giving the defenders a bit more of an advantage there is good. Okay, I'm just gonna buy out that astronomy house. 11 science per researcher. It's not too bad. I am a little slow on my Aerostars here, but honestly, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Blue is going absolutely ham, and I haven't even met Blue yet. Let's see if we can perhaps take a fight over here. I have missile superiority, so I do have to keep in mind they're the Huns, right? So they have pretty formidable combat strength on those scout riders. But let's see if we can start draining their war support through some good old-fashioned retreats. Let's see. Okay. It's a decent-sized force there. Let's pick up one more swordsman. Thankfully, you know, I've gotten set up as the Babylonians, right? So I can definitely repel these kind of attacks much more easily. Ooh, I don't want to let them have that. Why wouldn't you go... I want you to go this way, please. Thank you. Hello, friends. Wish they'd stick and fight, but they don't want to. Okay. Let's go back to hydrology. Let's see who's still available. Achaemenids are still available. Pretty much the only group I'd want to take. I could go for the Romans. I know I have iron access, so that's not that big a deal. Okay, I'm definitely gonna sortie this. Alright, swordsman. That's fine. Alright, so you want to weaken these spears a bit. Don't really want to attack the Promakoi on the first round since they have that combat defense buff. Okay, there we go. There's one dead spearman. Might lose a citizen here. Not quite. Okay, let's move you. There we go. And it's time to start killing some Promakoi. I do need to defend that part of the city. Or do I? I might just let them enter it, because I still have high ground here relative to them. Swordsman doing work. Excuse me. Let's see if I can kill that, because I think between my archer and these swords here, I should be able to take out the Promakoi. Most likely. Yep. Okay, easy fight. And round 2 is already making their way over. I'm hoping he moves. There we go. Want to ransack this. I don't want them building... shit. I was going to say, I don't want them building a Hunnic horde here. This is a real issue, because they'll be able to get up onto the high ground, and I can't deploy far back enough to stop them from having high ground. Could I guess I could have retreated, but realistically I would just die if I did that. So archers, at least one of them is very likely dead here. Looks like this one might survive. Okay. So I don't have enough units to really block the Huns from getting to my archers. So I just need to try to kill their units. But these archers are pretty much dead. They're sacrifices at this point. I hate fighting AI Huns. They're such a pain, guys. Like 27 combat strength is insane for these units. Okay. I should have moved him up here first, but I didn't. Okay, let's take out these hordes. Right, I can retake my flag on the next turn. I was like, oh shit, I lost the battle there, but I'm good. Sabusakesti gonna be the only thing that carry me through this, really. I might just... So I think these guys could still retreat, so even if I lose this fight here, this Sabusakesti will still survive. Really bad trade here. But this is what happens if you get caught out by the Huns. Could you not? He shouldn't be able to move through there? Okay, so he just went that way. Alright, well, there's a dead swordsman. I really need another district in this city, but I also really need defenses as well. The city's going to be very difficult to hold. Like, I can't be cycling units back and forth, and I basically just lost an entire army there because of those goddamn Hunnic hordes. and it's going to be non-stop attacks on Babylon until the war ends. Like, until they're forced to surrender, it's going to be a new army every single turn. And eventually, it's going to get to the point where we're looking at Hunnic hordes rather than just a bunch of lower tier units. Archers should be okay over here. Just gonna defend this round. Don't want to attack into Promakoi on the first round of combat for obvious reasons. I'll take the Scout Rider attack there. So need to have Babylon crap out another army for me, most likely. I'm not going to be able to defend the city otherwise. I mean, is it that important to me? Not really. I'd rather, if I could trade the city for Mykeene, I would do so in a heartbeat. Okay. So they all have high grounds against me right now. Let's change that up a little bit. Really use some spears in here to deal with these Scout Riders. But gotta work with what I have for the moment. The thing that drives me crazy about constant sieges is that you lose all your outputs in a siege. Yeah, they're dead. I'm just gonna resolve. So, right, when you're in a siege, you're losing all your science, you're losing all your production, all your growth. And it's very easily abusable. I kind of wish it would... Oh, did they bring in reinforcements? I thought I killed him earlier. So it's very easy to just, like, keep your opponent in a perpetual state of not actually being able to make anything by just constantly sieging them with new armies. And because the AI can just crap out armies, they're very effective at doing that. Because they will just... They have no problem sacrificing units to stop you from producing stuff. And I don't think that's, like, deliberately their strategy. It's just that they're dumb and keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay. So Forge coming up here. Let's move you. We need some more units. Gonna need spears, and then we'll go for a swordsman. How many can we move on to science? Would really like to get all my science era stars. Okay, so 3 on science. Basically have no industry in this city. If that city gets attacked, I'm pretty much going to sacrifice it. It's not giving me that sort of important of empire-wide outputs. I basically just need to defend Babylon until I win the war. I mean, I would prefer to defend it, obviously. It just may not be realistic. I'm actually going to go for 2 of these, I think, and then 1 more archer. I want 2 full armies against the Huns. Like, I want to ensure I am not going to be constantly losing outputs on my primary city. It's just too important to get that science output. I could attach here, but there's no real value in that at the moment. Still need 2 more districts for a builder star. I'd really like to get that star as well. What I could do is nab that in a single turn, which I think I'm going to do. And I can do something similar down here. It's 4 turns for that, but it's going to be faster than producing other districts. Okay. Wheel will help me move between my cities faster. So it's going to make sort of defense of the city slightly more possible. So Wheel gives you roads, basically. So it just sets the movement cost of all terrain on the roads to 1. So Lets you move a little bit faster between your cities. How many more techs do I need? So I need 4 more. So this is going to be a pretty late era up. I usually don't go up this late. And I think blue is in medieval at the moment. Oh, they're only in classical. That's a lot of fame for an AI in classical. It's pretty rare I see Ancestor do that well. Or just the AI in general. But, like, the pre-made AI in particular. Okay, they're sieging my city again. What is it? Okay. They're gluttons for punishment, it seems. Yeah. Actually, let me think about this. So 28, 24. They get Guardian, so stronger when defending on a district. So my swordsmen are still stronger defensively, but only by 1 point.
Okay.
That's fine. Those archers can't actually shoot anyone at the moment. Just move you there for now.
Off we go.
These are both equal combat strength. We'll go after the Promicoy. They're standing on a river. They do have high ground against me, but between my fortification and you know, them being on a river, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. So just blink them to death. See, I could take that attack, but I think I want to swap those units out and distribute damage a little bit. Okay, they went for an archer, which, I mean, I understand, but there was no point there. Alright. Yeah, let's get a kill with the citizen. Kill there. We want to kill everything on this turn. Because I want all my production back. My science and all that good stuff. Let's just swarm these Promicoy with citizens since they'll get all their health back. Then I can go ahead and shoot these spearmen. Okay. Then still 2 away from the builder, that 3rd builder star. So 2 more turns as long as they don't siege my city down here. Now, let's go into philosophy. You might go back and then pick up masonry after that, just as a cheap tech. We will want the infrastructure that provides eventually. Yeah, I have another... Oh, it's tea. Okay, I don't care as much about tea. That's not important to me. I do care a lot about plus 15 production, though. Or 16 food. That wouldn't be too bad. How's my stability? Kind of middling. I'm going to go ahead and work on some of the infrastructure in here. Let's move some folks onto science. And then we need animal barns, and we need artificial reservoirs, and we need watermill. Plenty of growth right now, so I'm going to focus on watermill before everything else. I do have a fair amount of river in here, so that should provide a pretty sizable amount of production. So I could try to take the fight to them. And I think if I want to win this game, I need to do that. I'm a little hemmed in right now. Now, there is a risk of running into hordes, right? But I really need to take Mykene. This is going to turn into a little bit of a longer episode than usual, because I'm doing it for the Ancients, the entire Ancients. Should really be claiming this territory too. I should get a unit for that. But it is not a high priority right now. Who's this? The Axumites. Don't know anything about their personality traits, though. Let's introduce. Yeah, this guy is doing very well for being a for being who he is. All right. What I should really do, if I want to go for the Romans, is I want to go up this tree right here into Imperial Power. It is going to slow my advancement a bit. Ugh, another army. Yeah, I need these guys to kill him. My citizens are not going to do particularly well there. Particularly if these Hun Accords decide they want to show up. Of course, they may just assault this city, we'll see. Just do what you can in the meantime. Put people on science, so they're contributing something to my entire empire. We're going to grab a district up here. Okay, let's get you actually in the city. And here they come again. Are there hordes coming? Yeah, they are. Okay. This one's going to be a harder battle. Okay, so archers need to go in areas that are defended from the hordes, that the hordes cannot shoot. I want my swordsmen up on the high ground here. I want my Sabusakesti in reserve so that they can kind of go chase down Hun Accords. Let's see. I'm using this to block for these archers. I'm going to need a unit up here as well. It might have to be these guys. This one's going to be a tougher battle. Keep everyone as much inside districts as possible. Do you have this random guy here? Suppose I could deploy like up in this area. I think that does hem in the battlefield a bit for them, but I think I don't want to hem them in, I want them more exposed. Okay, let's see how this goes. Yeah, these Hun Accords are going to be a real issue. Definitely going to take some citizen losses this fight. Yeah, there we go, right off the bat. Thankfully, that was the only loss that I took. Okay, time to start retaliating against the Hun Accord here. Now, swordsmen should survive at least one round where citizens failed. There we go, get them. Okay, let's move my other spearmen up, and they can come have fun with the Hun Accords in a few rounds. I'm going to retreat this guy back in case I need him in the city. And everyone else is just going to stay put. Just defend as much as possible. Hun Accords are the only thing I really need to attack. I am going to lose a turn of science and production here, but there's not much I can do about that because I need to take out the hordes. Okay, so I need to get these Promicoy in order to get at the horde, so I'll go ahead and take an attack with my swords there. And I'm actually going to use my Sabusakesti here, because I have this other one in reserve I can bring up. And everyone that can shoot that horde there is going to do so. Probably a bad idea to move my archer there. Little too exposed. He's exposed here too, if a horde decides it wants to show up. But I'm going to send my swordsman out to kill it, and that should block off access. And that sword should be more than capable of surviving attacks. Can I kill any of these guys? No. I'd like to, let's see, make sure these swordsmen do not die. Let's move him back and move citizens up. And go ahead and take out that spearman. If I can kill a unit with a melee attack, I usually take that opportunity because I don't want them hitting the target that they would prefer to attack. So they're going to focus on like your low health units, right? Gotta kill those Promakoi. Hun Accord are very exposed right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and move these swordsmen up here, which will let my archers come up onto high ground here. I'm going to continue holding this spot. This is a really nice spot to hold since there's a river there. Go ahead and blast those spearmen. Definitely not killing the Hun Accord this round. I'm not going to chase after him quite yet. We'll move the citizen up here to provide a little bit of extra combat strength from adjacency. Okay, so losing a lot of science output this turn. Alright. So now is my chance to shine. I want to use as many archers on the Hun Accord as possible.
Over there, let's go.
Over this way. Go!
Got attacked with the swordsman. I'm attacking uphill here, but I will get the Guardian trait from Sabusakesti from being in a district, which kind of cancels it out. That's a bit of a risk there. Let's use the citizens. It's not quite enough. Oh well, we'll go ahead and gank him from behind, and come up with these swordsmen to finish the scouts off. Alright. So only lost one citizen there, which is pretty good, all things considered. Glad I brought those units back. I'm gonna renounce that. I can't afford to be at war with another player, even though I do really need that territory. But, you know, it's possible they just declare war on me if I demand that. Okay. I'm going to switch everyone onto science. And I might even turn collective mines on here. It's really not important that I'm building stuff in the city at the moment. Like, it's so likely that I just lose this to the Mycenians, or the Huns, I guess. Like this. Let's see. Okay, so I have to deploy in these locations, but I think what I can do is go hide up in this valley here. I don't think they'll be able to attack me up there. So as long as I have one citizen that can run up here, I should be good. Just need one to survive. Yeah. Because there's no way up here, and they can't enter the city at all, so... And they don't have any melee units. So just run all my guys away, and click and turn a bunch of times, and they retreat. Run away! Ah, that was a mistake. I should have moved this guy first. Because now he's zone of controlled. I think one thing that could be changed for defenders is that you can't be zone of controlled when you're out, or when you're inside your city walls by someone outside your city walls. That would make a difference for defenders as well. Because right now, defenders are at a pretty big disadvantage most of the time. Should have brought melee units, my dude. What are you doing? No, too bad, so sad. Alright. Keep the science train rolling. I'm at negative money at the moment. Might put a couple people on money to get that. The stability scaling from negative money and negative influence has increased. So it's a little harder to maintain that over the long term. I really would have liked to be virtuous as water. Don't think I have a ton of forests. Like, I have an okay amount. Not that I'm really currently working, though. Yeah, that's... I think I have to go for Hunt Infidels. Get myself some more war support from killing the baddies. Makes it a lot easier to go to war on like surprise wars because you can fill up your war support very easily. Religious tolerance. Yes, I do want that. And while I'm at it, let's grab leadership, that +1 city cap. Don't need the rest of those. This might be the brunt of their force. Maybe I can sneak down. Oh, I should have done this earlier, actually. Maybe I can sneak down to Mykeene while they have all their Hunnic hordes occupied in that location. Okay. I'm just going to go back and get Masonry. So I get that final era star, and then we'll era up. Expansion of stars, real struggle this game. Wish I could see how much speed they have in this menu. Amplitude, if you're watching, please add speed onto the Hunnic hordes. Thank you. Or on all units in the battle menu. That is very relevant information to have. Could go for a pillage there too. I think that might be called for. Whoop. 3 turns though? No, let's just go straight for the city. Oh, and these Hunnic hordes are coming back. Okay. Yeah, I can take this fight. It's only 3 of them. Okay, so swords in front to take the brunt of the damage. Okay, see how this goes. We're gonna run around and shoot my archers back here. Yeah. There's only so much I can do about that, though. Okay. They're getting building cover, which is very annoying. I'm gonna move him here. Move this guy here. Should be able to take that guy out, hopefully. Ugh, bad luck. Sucks. Hunnic hordes just do like so much damage that losing, like not being able to kill him in that situation really, it's kind of a big deal. Like it's possible I lose a unit on the next turn because of that. I need to block this off here so they don't go after my archers. I mean, they're just going to stroll around again, but that's Hunnic hordes. They're pretty much impossible to really control, right? That's their whole purpose, is that they can just run around your line like that and snipe your units. Yeah, so there goes an archer. Now I'm in a very awkward position where I can't move people where I want to move them. Okay. Swordsman on the flag. Sabu Sakesti on high ground. Controlling that guy as much as possible. Can't hit the archers from where he is. He might be able to get down here. Nope. Okay, perfect. So 1 archer for 3 Hunnic hordes is not a bad trade. I will take that. And I have all my era stars for my science. That was a very, very slow era for me. I'm going to just start on Imperial power because I think we are going to take the Romans. So let's take the Romans. Turn ends automatically, thank you. No. Okay, Amplitude, please. Please, please, please. These pop-ups are stopping me from moving my armies in critical situations. I need to be able to move my armies at the start of my turn. So please, please, let me, like, disable all these stupid pop-ups, because it totally screws you all the time. Okay. Anyway, so that's it. That's the episode. Oh, I can make demands here. I can vassalize them, but I don't have enough war support for that. So just give me all your territory. Okay. And then that'll be the episode. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.